This is Channel 25 WVTT Olean. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, this is the 6 o'clock report with Jeff Andrulonis and Alexa Olson. Listen on News Radio 96.7 WVTT or watch on News Channel 25 WVTT television. WVTT proudly presents the 6 o'clock report.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Andrulonis. Good evening. The big story tonight on the 6 o'clock report. Yet another meth lab bust in Allegheny County. This brings to 4 the number of meth lab busts so far this year in Allegheny. With the latest, let's go live to the WVTT Digital Newsroom where WVTT's Valerie Tysander is standing by. Valerie, what have you learned about this latest situation in Allegheny County?
Jeff, this weekend caused a meth lab bust, and not only that, but a 3-hour standoff outside a hotel in Scio, and 2 people were arrested.
The Longview Motel looks calm now, but on Saturday it was filled with police forces during a 3-hour standoff. 24-year-old Jordan Doan and 22-year-old Elizabeth Martin were holed up in a hotel room much like this one.
Basically, we had a warrant for the 2 individuals that were arrested. I asked them to come out, and they initially wouldn't. And after 3 hours of back and forth discussions, they came out and turned themselves in.
Police had been looking for Doan and Martin since they discovered a meth lab at Doan's residence in the town of Bolivar on November 21st. And when police located the couple at the Longview Motel off Route 417, they discovered another pile of methamphetamine.
But we found enough to charge them again.
Being arrested isn't new for Elizabeth Martin. She was arrested in June in connection to a meth lab that exploded in Wellsville. But police say they haven't been keeping tabs on her.
I wouldn't say it was a complete coincidence, but this happened to work out that way. It was a complaint that we received, and an original arrest for possession of marijuana, which led to the discovery of the meth lab.
Meth labs aren't unusual in the town of Bolivar. There have been 4 methamphetamine busts this year alone, and residents are speaking out. One says drugs and poverty aren't new to Bolivar. Another says, you name it, Bolivar has it. Glad I don't live there. While a third says the drug problem isn't confined to Bolivar, it impacts all of Allegheny County.
I called Keith Slepp, the district attorney for Allegheny County, who says he has no comment. Dwayne and Martin have been arraigned and taken to the Allegheny County Jail in lieu of bail. In the WVTT Digital Newsroom, I'm Valerie Tysander. Back to you.
Valerie, thanks so much for that report. We should also point out District Attorney Keith Slepp in Allegheny County is continuing to monitor those cases as the investigation continues. Alexa?
Well, Jeff, on a lighter note, you can park for free in Olean from now until Christmas. The Olean Common Council approved free holiday parking in the city. Any metered parking will be free, along with free parking in city lots. Although the lots won't be policed, there are still reserved spots in some lots for area businesses.
Fire investigators in Bradford say that they have released the cause of a Sunday morning blaze in the city. According to fire officials, the fire started because of an accidental electrical issue. The fire at 228 High Street in Bradford caused extensive damage to the home. 4 dogs, 2 cats, and 4 birds died in the fire. Over $50,000 damage reported in that fire in Bradford.
Well, police in Fredonia, New York are looking for a suspect they say allegedly stole money from the Salvation Army. According to authorities, Tamika Hood, a volunteer for the Salvation Army, stole a red kettle, then vanished from the Walmart where she was supposed to be volunteering. Police say that this is not the first time that they've dealt with Hood. The amount of money that Hood ran off with is estimated around $1,500.
An 85-year-old woman is dead tonight after a pickup truck ran into her at an intersection in Jamestown, New York. According to authorities, the victim was identified as Angeline Marucci. Authorities say she was crossing West 4th Street on Friday around 10:45 in the morning in broad daylight when she was hit by a 59-year-old man driving a pickup. Marucci was later pronounced dead when she arrived at the hospital. The driver has not been charged in the case.
And a Jamestown woman was arrested last week after allegedly stabbing a man in the gut with a kitchen knife. 25-year-old Christina Maddox was charged with assault and sent to jail. The victim was sent to the hospital to be treated for his stab wound.
Jurors have delivered a guilty verdict in northwestern Pennsylvania against a woman who shot and killed her boyfriend after saying she, quote, smelled sex on him. The third-degree murder verdict against 31-year-old Rachel Kozloff came after almost 6 hours of deliberation. Kozloff claimed she killed Michael Henry in self-defense during an argument at his Erie apartment, but prosecutors say Kozloff hid in Henry's building, then went to his apartment and shot him 4 times as his 10-month-old son slept in another room. Authorities say Kozloff killed Henry because she suspected he was cheating on her. Sentencing is set for January 29th.
Well, the Pennsylvania Game Commission is investigating a horse shooting near Meadville. Officials say the horse was shot between the eyes and survived. The angle of the shot is what ultimately saved the horse's life. A few degrees the other way, and the animal would have died. The horse's owners say the horse will need nasal reconstructive surgery.
A man from Amherst is behind bars tonight after he purposely tried getting arrested so he could go to prison to get health care. Authorities say that 56-year-old Frank Morocco says he stole items from Wegmans in an attempt to get arrested. Morocco was recently released from federal prison after serving his 20-year prison sentence for drug charges. Morocco says it was an act of desperation because he has leukemia and was receiving treatments in prison. He said that when he was released, he could no longer afford to pay for the treatments. A judge will decide if he'll be sent back to prison for violating his parole. This isn't the first time we've heard of this happening. After hearing about this story, we're kicking off an exclusive series on healthcare in prison. We'll run a 3-part series. Stay tuned. It'll be here on WVTT.
Well, New York's wine industry is celebrating a good year with an early harvest, superb quality, and numerous medals. The New York Wine and Grape Foundation says 17 new licenses were issued in 2012, bringing the number of wineries to 328, with 9 more still pending. 48 New York wineries were rated 90 or above by the 3 major wine consumer magazines. From being a largely regional industry, the Finger Lakes, Hudson Valley, and Long Island, the wine industry has become virtually statewide, with producers in 55 of New York's 62 counties.
As the GOP prepares for a fight over the possibility of going over the fiscal cliff, and as President Barack Obama and Speaker of the House John Boehner meet to come up with a compromise to the nation's budget issues, U.S. Congressman Tom Reed tells WVTT the problems can't be solved just by increasing revenue. The congressman says that entitlements like Social Security and Medicare are in trouble if entitlement reform doesn't happen soon.
And my grave concern is that by focusing solely on the revenue side, our entitlements are on a path to bankruptcy and collapse. And what we need to be doing is reforming those entitlement programs to make sure that they're saved for future generations.
U.S. Senator Charles Schumer today urged StubHub, Ticket Exchange, Ticket Liquidator, and Tickets Now and other resale websites not to facilitate scalpers from profiting off the resale of tickets for the 12-12-12 concert for Sandy relief. The concert was created to benefit victims of Superstorm Sandy and will feature world-famous performers at Madison Square Garden. Almost immediately after tickets went on sale through Ticketmaster, the concert was sold out partly due to scalpers purchasing the tickets and then reselling them online to get greater inflated prices. Tickets currently being sold for as much as $6,000 on the site. If a ticket, for example, was sold for $55, they're now being resold for $100. And Schumer proposes that the sale won't go through unless the $45 profit is donated to relief efforts.
Senator Schumer is also calling on the Department of Defense to quickly replace military documents and medals destroyed by Superstorm Sandy. As a result of the storm, some veterans' belongings have been lost or even completely destroyed, and Schumer is asking the Department of Defense to set up a system to replace those valuables. Schumer released this statement: "It's unfortunate that these vets who sacrificed for their country have lost their most cherished medals after Superstorm Sandy, and will have to wait weeks for them to be replaced." The senator says the Department of Defense should work in coordination with all branches of the military to make sure the veterans get the medals they rightfully deserve as quickly as possible.
Well, Jeff, U.S. Commerce Secretary Rebecca Blank made an announcement today that $7.3 million in Economic Development Administration grants will be awarded to Connecticut, New York, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Wyoming to help those communities in those states recover economically from recent natural disasters. Blank says that the grants will help several communities that have suffered extensive damage from those natural disasters.
Still to come on the 6 o'clock report, our first look at snowflakey weather. Details on that also coming up. The global news update, including the very latest on Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez and his third round of cancer treatment and what that means for a country that has moved away from its traditional allied position with the United States. Also still to come, WVTT's Wall Street wrap-up. Stick around. This is the 6 o'clock report on News Channel 25 WVTT.